Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming my part 1 of my 2017 beauty favourites. I asked you guys on a poll on Instagram if you wanted this video to be one big one with every single favourite makeup item from high-end and drugstore, and it was pretty much 50-50. Some of you guys wanted more detailed version but 2 separate videos, and some of you wanted one big one, and I decided to just end up doing one for each side because I'm a talker, I can talk a lot, and I want to go into a bit more detail about why these items are my favourite. For the most part, there's one product for each category. I've got everything written in my beautiful notebook here. This is from HomeSense, by the way. And I sat down and literally thought, right, what are my top beauty products? What things have really stood out to me this year? And I think the first thing, let's start with our base. Foundations where I wanted my skin to just look really good for special occasions, for when I'm going out for lunch or dinner with the girls. When I'm making a bit more of an effort basically, it's definitely been the NARS Sheer Glow. This bottle I've had for way too long. I definitely need to get myself another one, and I will be buying a new one of this because it's just the perfect foundation for me. I'm wearing it on my skin today. This is a Shea Stromboli, and it just has the perfect coverage. It's medium but buildable. The finish is beautiful. It's like a demi matte finish, which means it looks like skin. It's not overly dewy, it's not too matte either. And the reason why it's called Sheer Glow is because it gives your skin a sheer glow. Some people are confused and think it's going to be like a tinted moisturiser and really glowy and dewy, but that's not the case at all. It literally gives your skin a little bit of a dew, a little bit of a glow, but it's not anything over the top. And for me, it lasts really well. It photographs really well as well, and it's just stood the test of time, really. I've tried quite a few new foundations this year, but none of them have topped this one for me, so I'm definitely going to be picking up a new one, and I really hope they're not discontinuing it. I know that NARS are coming out with a new foundation, which is already out in the States. It's coming out on the 15th of January here in the UK, and I am planning to try that one out, but I'm really hoping that they're going to keep this one because it's such a must-have for so many people, and definitely for me. I'm also going to be talking about a foundation that I like to use on a day-to-day basis. Now, I definitely used to be the type of person who would only use my high-end foundations on special occasions, but now I just think, like, at the end of the day, they've got a shelf life of like 2 to 3 years max, and you spent the money for it, so you might as well wear it. So I definitely have come away from that mentality, and if I could pick one foundation that I would wear every single day, if I could, it would be the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. This is in the shade 123 or Y365, and it's my perfect match. I mean, I love Stromboli on me because it's more yellow and it's a bit more golden, but this is like my perfect match, and I absolutely love it. It's a little bit less coverage than Sheer Glow, but it photographs amazingly. Obviously, it's literally built for film and photography, and it just looks amazing. I apply it with a brush or with a damp beauty blender, and I think for the price it's less than £30. I think it's worth every single penny that you get. It comes with a really nice pump as well, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this when I'm done with it because it's one of those like fail-proof foundations. Unfortunately, there is not a high-end corrector that I can recommend to you all. I have tried a few high-end correctors, but for me, the best correctors I've definitely found in the drugstore or on the high street, so keep an eye out for that video if you want to know what my favourites are. However, moving on to concealers, my favourite concealers of all time are the Kevyn Aucoin Essential Skin Enhancers. They are just the most incredible concealer ever, and because of this, I have the highest standards for concealers now. I mean, the formula of this is so creamy and rich, and the pigment is like nothing else on the market. I think people are put off by this because of the price, but actually this pot will last you 2 years minimum, even if you use it every single day. I mean, a tiny bit goes such a long way, and because of that, it's so much more better value than any other concealer out there. I've had the NARS Creamy Concealer and I like it, but first of all, the formula, the coverage does not compare, but also it runs out so much quicker than this. So I actually think this is amazing value for money. I mean, I always do pick these up in the Black Friday sales or the Boxing Day sales because you can get them for 20% off on Beauty Bay every single year. So I recommend looking out for them there. But honestly, this is the best value for money. It's so beautifully pigmented and it covers up any hyperpigmentation at all. I have 3 shades, and I've explained why I have 3 shades, and I've swatched them and I've reviewed them on my blog. So I'm going to link that post below because I go into details about how I think you should best apply it and how it best works for me. Because again, because of formula, some people can be put off by it, but once you've figured out how to use it properly, it's amazing and you will not look back. If you're looking for a full coverage concealer, you need this in your life. It's amazing. Loose powder wise, I've tried a few again this year, and most of them have been high street, and I have tried one high end, but I'm not going to mention it because it just didn't really impress me enough, to be honest. However, pressed powder wise, I don't think anyone's going to be shocked to hear that the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush powder has definitely made it into my 2017 beauty favourites. It is gorgeous. It's so, so beautiful. It really does make your skin look airbrushed, and for me it's a powder that rescues my makeup a lot of the times. Sometimes I'll just look in the mirror and my foundation is sort of melting a little bit and my face is looking a bit of a mess, but I literally just swirl my brush in there, swipe it onto my face, and my skin is looking incredible. I wear this every single time there's a special occasion, and it literally does give you that airbrush finish. I use a shade medium 2, and I have a backup of this powder. That's how much I love it, and I think it's worth every single penny and more. And if there's one thing that you guys need to try to make your skin look airbrushed and flawless, it's this powder. It's amazing. Thinking about eyebrows from the high end, for me the ABH Dip Brow has not been beaten, even by anything in a drugstore. I've tried a lot of different eyebrow products, and yes, I hate doing my eyebrows. It's the worst part of makeup for me, but I just love this. I've had these pots for over 2 years now, and they haven't dried up on me because I use a Kiko mixing solution in them, and they just last really well for me. I find the formula to be perfect. It's not too sticky, it's not too thick or creamy, and it stays put all day, which I love. And my favourite or perfect shade is chocolate. Moving on to eyeshadows, this has definitely been the year of collecting single shadows for me, and that's definitely my biggest guilty pleasure. I have filled up 2 palettes. These are the Makeup Geek and the Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows, and they're just amazing. The Makeup Geek shadows are available on Beauty Bay now, and they're a decent price. Sometimes they have like buy one get one free sales, and that's how I ended up getting most of my collection actually, so I would keep an eye out for that. And with Anastasia Beverly Hills, they ship to the UK, and I do think that the prices to the UK are just unfairly more than the ones in the US, but basically when you order 8 shadows, you get a free palette, and she does discount the shadows. So if you order 8, they end up being £6 each versus a £12 price tag, which I love eyeshadows, but I would not pay £12 for one eyeshadow. That's just ridiculous to me. So yeah, I definitely think that if you want to invest in ABH, save up a bit of money and then buy 8 at a time, and then you get a palette like this. And this is a really nice palette. It's got a nice clear back, and then you can easily take the shadows in and out. If I had to pick a few shades that I absolutely love and I recommend, one of them would be Real Girl, which is actually available in the palette I'm going to talk about. I absolutely am obsessed with Golden Copper. It's like my favourite shade to wear all over my lid. It's so beautiful. Fudge is a really, really nice brown shade. This eyeshadow palette is sort of like my day-to-day go-to palette, especially these ones up here and these brown shades. Brick from ABH is really nice as well, but for Makeup Geek, I really, really like Rapunzel for the brow bone. It's absolutely beautiful. This is Magic Act, which is one of their foil shadows, and it's very stunning all over the lids. I really like the shade Poppy because it just adds a nice bit of richness and red. And these brown shades are a mix of ABH and Makeup Geek, and this is Sienna by ABH, and it's beautiful. It's one of my must-haves. And this one here is Tiki Hut by Makeup Geek, and it's again absolutely beautiful in the crease. This shade here is Casino, and I didn't think I'd like it that much, but I actually ended up wearing it to a Mandy recently, and it was the perfect gold for like Asian weddings and occasions, so I really, really enjoyed this. And yeah, those are just a few of the eyeshadows that I like, but I think that because I have started this collection now and I've sort of opened my eyes to the world of single shadows, for me buying eyeshadow palettes is quite a rare occurrence. I'll probably buy like 2 or 3 a year maximum, which I know is quite a lot still, but you know, for a beauty blogger slash enthusiast, it's not as much as I used to. I've stopped buying eyeshadow palettes from the high street or drugstore because I just have enough really nice quality eyeshadows in my single collection. However, the palette that stood out to me the most this year, and I don't actually think it was new this year, I think it was from last year, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills again. This is the Modern Renaissance palette, which I'm sure you've seen absolutely everywhere. It's just one of the most go-to user-friendly palettes, and I feel like with this, she brought out the love of pinks and magentas and reds. I mean, those were always popular shades before, but she definitely made it even more popular. I feel like if you don't want to invest in single shadows, which is totally understandable, you should definitely get your hands on this one because it's just absolutely stunning. Another palette that stood out to me as well, which I do think is worth picking up, is a Tartelette in Bloom palette. It has all the shades you'd need, from like your matte brow bone highlight to deeper shades to smoke things out, and it's got really nice lid shades as well. So the only thing with the Tarte formula is it's a bit more dry and it's a little bit more powdery, but I do think that that's a palette that I get a lot of use out of. I took it on holiday with me this year and I do really like that one. Moving on to eyeliner, unfortunately I don't have it with me, but the Inglot gel liner in 77 is just the best liner in the whole wide world. It is super pigmented, super rich and very creamy and easy to apply. And it's worth every single penny. I've tried quite a few different liquid liners this year, and I've tried like more expensive ones as well, and nothing has massively stood out to me. I do think eyeliner is one of those things that you can definitely go to a drugstore and pick up decent ones for. I mean, today I'm wearing one from Collection and I know it's going to last me my whole time that I need my makeup to stay on for. So yeah, eyeliners, for the most part, I think you don't need to spend a lot of money on them, but if you do want to buy one really reliable gel liner, it's the Inglot one that you need, and I picked it up this year and I have not looked back. Moving on to bronzers, there are two that have massively floated my boat this year, although I do have a lot of bronzers in my collection. The NARS Laguna, which is this one here, which I've hit major pan on, is just my favourite. It goes absolutely beautifully with my skin tone. It's not completely matte, which is what I like about it, because it's got a tiny bit of shimmer which you can't see on the skin, but what that means is when you blend it into the skin, it just blends in seamlessly. There's no like muddy marks at all, and it just goes well with any base that I'm wearing, and it just looks really, really nice. I feel like I'm not complete without bronzer, and if I had to rely on one bronzer for the rest of my life, it would definitely be Laguna. But on that note, I have also really loved the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel Bronzing Universal Makeup Base. This is one of the only makeup products that I've tried from Chanel. I mean, it's such an expensive and luxurious brand, but yeah, I absolutely do really love this. It's got a really, really different formula. I mean, it is a cream bronzer, but it's not very creamy, if that makes sense. And it just applies so beautifully with like a stippling brush. And I've used quite a lot. I haven't hit pan yet. I mean, I've had it for quite a while, and I just find that the colour is perfect. It's not too orange, it's not too red. It just gives you that really beautiful sun-kissed look. And on like no makeup days, I usually get some moisturiser, mix in some illuminating drops, and then use this all over the perimeters of my face, and my skin looks so sun-kissed and effortless. And I just really do like this. Again, it's expensive, but it lasts such a long time that I think it's worth the investment, and I would pick this up again. It's lovely. If you are a regular reader of my blog, you will not be surprised to hear that my favourite blushes of 2017 are still the NARS ones. I just think that NARS do blushes so well. They have so many different shades out there for every single skin tone, and the wear time on them is what makes them tick for me. I have quite a few of their single pan blushes, and I'm going to link some reviews down below. And I also have about 2 of their palettes, I believe, with their blushes in them. And I think that if you buy their palettes, that's the best value for money that you can get, because you usually get a bronzer in there as well. And I just use them all the time. They last all day long for me. It doesn't matter about the weather, it doesn't matter if I've used a setting spray or not, I will still have my blusher on my face. At the moment I'm absolutely loving Torrid, which is this gorgeous matte peachy, well, I say matte, it's a peachy colour with a bit of gold running through it. And again, it's not detectable on the skin as such, but it just looks so effortless and natural. I'm wearing it today, and I think that Torrid is a must-have for anyone with a similar complexion to me. But yeah, there's just so many that I love that I'm not going to start listing them all. I'm just going to leave links below to my reviews. I massively suggest that you invest in one or two nails blushes or a palette, because they're just absolutely beautiful. I don't necessarily have a liquid highlighter that I've absolutely loved from the high end this year, but the Wonder Glow I really enjoyed, and I kind of use it like I would a liquid highlighter, especially like when my skin is feeling dull. I will moisturise, then I'll apply this on top, and it does just make my skin look that little bit better. I will wear this on top or mix in with my foundation if it's like a special occasion and I want my skin to look really dewy and luminous. This is definitely what I turn to, and you get 40 millilitres, so I don't think it's too bad value for money at all, and I've really been enjoying this. Moving on to highlighters themselves, I have 3 in this category. I really couldn't choose just one because there's just so many good highlighters out there. First of all, a huge shout out to my ABH Glow Kits. I actually own a couple of these because they're just such good value for money. The whole palette is £40 by itself, so that means each of these are £10, and you can remove these and put these into separate palettes if you wanted to. And I just think that the formula is really lovely. I don't find that there's lots of glitter in any of these. I don't find that there's any excess like shimmer. It's just really beautiful shimmery shades, and you can build it up or you can apply it in a bit more of a natural way. This one is the Sun Dips Glow Kit, which is always available for some reason, and one thing that does irk me about the glow kits is that she does discontinue them quite often. So my favourite one is the That Glow Kit, but that's not available anymore, so I don't think it's fair to show you guys. However, this one is still one of my favourites. I've used every single shade bar this one. I don't use this one as much, but I use them or mix them all. I think there's so many available that you could probably pick one and be done with for like the rest of the year if you were a regular, normal, sensible person. Another highlighter from ABH, which I think is absolutely gorgeous, is her illuminators, and this one in particular is So Hollywood. This was so popular like 2 years ago when it first came out, and it was limited edition, and I was gutted because I totally missed out on getting it, and then she brought it back, and now I think it's in a permanent collection, which I'm really happy about. This is not as good value for money as the glow kits because it's about 20 odd quid, but it is absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, it's just the perfect golden shade, and it looks absolutely beautiful on all olive skin tones. If you just want one highlighter and you're a similar complexion to me, then So Hollywood will be your best friend. You can build it up quite a lot. I'm wearing So Hollywood today mixed with some of this glow kit as well to make it a bit brighter. And finally, the highlighter, which I really couldn't miss out because I've been obsessed with it since I bought it, is the Fenty Beauty highlighter, the Kilowatt in Mean Money and Hustler Baby. I bought 3 things from Rihanna's line, and this is by far my most favourite item and my most used item. I absolutely love Mean Money. This is the matter and more subtle version of a highlight, and you can hardly see it there, but I love it because it's perfect for every day, and it really does not emphasize any pores or any textured skin. It's just beautiful. But obviously the star of the show is definitely Hustler Baby. It's just beautiful, like jewel tone, pinky, champagne-y colour. It's not as golden as So Hollywood, as you can see, but it's definitely got a bit of a kick to it, and I absolutely adore that. I think these are really good value for money as well because you get 2 in 1. You get a nice mirror and a nice compact, and I definitely would pick up more of these in the future because I know she's got some really beautiful colours in her line. Lip liners for me was a pretty easy choice. I have tried a couple of high-end lip liners and nothing ever compares to the one and only Makeup Forever Aqua Lips. This is in the shade 2C, and I also love 3C, and basically it makes your lipstick last so much longer. It's so easy to apply, and the formula is perfect. It just means that you can slightly overline your lips if you want to, and I know that every time I use one of these lip liners under whatever lipstick I'm wearing, I know that my lips are going to last and stay in place. I absolutely love these, and they're about £13, but you can usually get them on sale. which is when I tend to pick them up. I will be wanting to pick up another one next year because this is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But yeah, these are amazing, and I highly recommend these over any other high-end lip liner because they just tick all the boxes, and Makeup Forever did a really good job with this. Now, a category which I really couldn't decide on one brand is liquid lipsticks. I think liquid lipsticks have still been super popular in 2017, and I actually have 4 here to show you guys, but I think there could even be more. I mean, I've picked up a couple in the last 2 months, which I haven't included in here because I've not used them enough, and hopefully if I like them I will tell you guys about them. But these 4 I've been using consistently throughout the year, and I massively rate all of them. So I'll start with the cheapest one. This is the Balm's lip liners in the Meet Matte Hues, and I actually only have 1 shade of this. I have Committed, but it's really beautiful. I'm going to swatch it here. It's just like an ideal everyday shade for me, and I really like the formula of these. They aren't too liquidy, they're not too moussey either. You can't feel these on your lips. Once they dry, they will stay there for a good couple of hours, and they're just really comfortable and nice to wear. And they're pretty affordable as well. I think they're around £13, and then again you can probably find them on sale at some point. So yeah, I do really like these, and I'd like to try more like nudie shades in this range. I also love the Kat Von D liquid lipsticks. I feel like she was the OG liquid lipstick creator. She made Lolita first, and then, you know, there's a whole drama of Lolita, isn't there, where there's just so many different shade variations of it. But this is Lolita, the one that I have anyway, and I just think that her liquid lipsticks are fantastic. They're more long wearing than the Balm ones, and they're such a great range of shades. I know she's come out with loads more shades recently, which I've not actually had a chance to explore yet. But yeah, I really like these. I've got 3 or 4 of the shades, and I do tend to wear these quite often because I know that they'll last a decent amount of time. And I'm really happy they're available in Debenhams now. Another brand which I haven't tried much from at all is Gerard Cosmetics. It's a US brand, and this is the shade 1995, which is the year I was born. And that's very similar to Lolita actually, as you can see. But yeah, I've loved their liquid lipstick formula, especially the shade Everything Nice. That's probably been like my go-to shade in 2017 and one of my most used shades. I think I've actually almost run out of it now, which just says a lot because I have so many different lip options available. But yeah, this, I find the formula to be really comfortable but also really long wearing. It's a little bit more creamy than the Kat Von D range, and I just really enjoy this. I feel like you can layer it up again once it's faded a little bit. It doesn't look all cakey and gross, and it does not make my lips feel sore or overly dry at all. So I'm a massive fan of the Gerard Cosmetics line, and I think their colour range is really fantastic as well. Finally, last but definitely not least, we have the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks, and this one is in the shade Stripped. But I do also have Ashton and Crushed, and Stripped is basically like the perfect nude shade. I love these so much. These are so comfortable to wear. They're not drying for me at all. They're a little bit more creamy, a little bit more richer than the Balm version, for example. But the pigmentation is fantastic. I never have to like go over my lips more than once, and it lasts a really decent amount of time. It won't last the whole day, because I don't think any of these lipsticks here last the whole day because they don't have that super drying effect. And there's a balance with liquid lipsticks. I mean, if you want it to last all day, you're going to have to put up with some of the extra dryingness. None of these are super drying for me anyway, so that's why I would pick these up again and again and try different shades out of them. And I really do enjoy this one. This is like one of my perfect nude shades. The only high-end mascara that I will ever recommend that I've tried and I've really loved is the Tarte Gifted Mascara. I don't have it anymore. I finished it off like mid-year time, but I really like that mascara. However, I do think that mascara, again, is one of those things where you can definitely find it in the drugstore. You don't have to pay loads of money for it. I did treat myself to a high-end mascara this year, and I was so disappointed by it. So I'm not going to talk about that in this video. That will be for another one. And quickly, another lipstick actually. The only lipstick that I really love this year, because I have definitely been indulging in liquid lipsticks. This is a NARS Pure Matte Lipstick in the shade Tonkin. And I have a horrible feeling, well, my friend was saying that they're going to discontinue this line because of the Audacious line, but this is the shade Tonkin and it's just the most beautiful everyday shade. I absolutely adore this and I really hope they don't discontinue it because it's just amazing. Sometimes you don't want a liquid lipstick, you just want to put some lipstick on. And again, most of my lipsticks are from like much cheaper brands because I don't tend to invest in lipsticks. However, this is one that I have invested in and I really enjoy it. I do actually have one of the NARS Audacious lipsticks, but I've not used it. It's still in the box because it was so expensive and I'm just a bit like, oh, I don't want to waste it, which is ridiculous. So hopefully in 2018 you guys will hear my thoughts on that. I should have said this with the eye makeup, but the Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadows are just amazing. This is one of the sets that they released for the holidays and they had 3 in the set and this is the only ones that I have. I don't have any of the full size ones, but I just think they're just the most gorgeous items of makeup to be released in 2017. I'm wearing this shade Smoky Storm on my eyes right now and it's so easy to apply. It's literally the easiest thing ever. You just take the stick out and put it on. There's no need to faff around with glue or anything like that and it's just gorgeous. It makes your eye makeup look like you put a lot more effort in than you actually did. So I massively recommend you guys try and get your hands on this set because it was really good value for money. There is a Colourpop version of these which are not like as glittery, but I haven't got my order yet to show you guys that, but when I do get that I will definitely be comparing them. However, I don't think anything will be as glittery as this. I mean, you can see it on my eyes now, you can see the glitter and it just looks so stunning. And last but not least, I could not make this high-end makeup video without giving a shout out to my beauty blender. This has been used, which is why you can see foundation on it. I cannot get enough of this sponge. It is worth all the hype and more. I've tried so many different alternatives and nothing really compares. I mean, there is one sponge which I like almost as much and you can have a watch of my drugstore favourites to find out which one that is, but this one is just amazing. I've literally repurchased this like 3 or 4 times now and yes, it's expensive but it's an investment that's so worth it. I feel like without the right tools your makeup is never going to look as good. That doesn't mean that you have to spend a lot of money on the tools, but this is something that I do think is worth spending money on. I mean, all my eyeshadows and all my face brushes are from the drugstore. They're like MUFE or Techniques and there's a couple of Zoeva ones in there. So I don't spend a lot of money on my other tools, but my makeup sponge that I use on a day-to-day basis has to be the Beauty Blender because like nothing else actually really does compare. So I'm a huge fan of this and if you've been umming and ahhing about whether you should pick it up, I just think you should because your 2018 makeup game will be raised from here to here and that is a promise. It's amazing. You can do so much with it. And that is the end of my 2017 high-end beauty favourites. I hope you enjoyed this video. I feel like my voice is going now, so I'm going to wrap it up really quickly. But I will be filming a drugstore version of this pretty soon. I'm wearing all my favourites on my face today, well as many as I can fit onto my face today. I hope you have an amazing end to 2017 and a beautiful start to 2018. And yeah, I'm looking forward to discovering new items and definitely using these up. I think that's going to be like my mantra for 2018 is to film more than one empties video because, you know, it's all well and good buying new things and trying out new releases, but I think I can speak for all of us when I say that sometimes you just have to use up the stuff you've already got and there's nothing quite as good a feeling as hitting pan on something that you've been using consistently. So here's some more pan in 2018. Thanks so much for watching and if you liked it make sure you leave a thumbs up, comment below and subscribe. Bye!